All right, guys. So I'm taking a little break from 6 Day Fallujah because I just played the second episode and I died like 3 times and failed the mission 3 times. So this is my break time. So I'm gonna be checking out a video that one of my viewers has been constantly requesting, and it's called "The Story of KiXSTAr: The Heart and Soul of Rainbow Six Siege." I don't know what it is, but I just went down to the description and I kind of peeked a little bit at the comments because the number one comment pretty much kind of gave it away. But basically, it is someone named Michael Stockley, aka KiXSTAr. He has been around since the very beginning of Rainbow Six Siege, the very beginning. So I guess this is about one of the players or one of the streamers, I guess, that has been playing Rainbow Six Siege since the beginning. However, the very first comment and top comment that is on there, it says "Rest in peace, Kix." So that means this is a person who's no longer with us, unfortunately. So KiXSTAr, rest in peace. But let's take a look at to like what his story is, like how he got into this journey and what he did and how he rose to fame. So without anything else, let's just jump into the video.
Kix was, at the very beginning of the game, probably top 5 most well-known, most popular, most watched people.
Really? And yet I haven't heard of this guy.
Okay, get that.
Oh
my God!
Kix had like the
Wow.
whole package. He was the first one to really have like great movement and great mechanical skills out of anyone that I personally saw.
Retiring from a pro to be a caster because the casters we had weren't that great at the time, trying to fix it from the inside out.
He only needs 2 more, and they're both still very low. He can deny the plant with the evil eye and just keep himself alive. 19 bullets, so he's got to be careful with that ammunition counter. And here's the denial! Oh my God! 5 seconds, and cameramen have to rush! Will he land the shot? Cold! Incredible!
He lended legitimacy to Rainbow Six because this is the first professional player that gets to talk about it.
There's so much influence that
he did really good at that commentary just now. So it looks like he was a professional gamer. Judging by that like few seconds of gameplay that he just did, he really knows how to play. And then as some players retire and go to like something else, like a commentator, as he did, narrator, or whatever you like to call it. And just like I said, with just those few words, he really knows how to like produce and give commentary. So that's really good.
he was so passionate. It's because he had so much undying love for the game and what it brought.
The plant going down. Bio has to cover. And he's gonna do a great job of it, but no! Jarvis drops from CEO! Bio still has time to win the fights, but why are you sprinting, Bio?
Pretty much single-handedly saved Siege, you know.
So he's like the reason why this game is so great, I guess.
The Rainbow Six community and the esports world as a
24.
whole lost a great with the passing of Michael KiXSTAr Stockley.
Damn, he died young.
Kix, we lost obviously a community member, like a pro league caster. Like the void will never be filled.
I mean, I don't know what Rainbow Six esports looks like right now without Kix. I don't.
It's really hard to put into words exactly, what we lost when Kix passed away. But we lost someone really special.
Story of KiXSTAr. I wonder what the cause of death was.
Michael KiXSTAr Stockley had been around since the very beginning of Rainbow Six Siege. And I mean the very beginning.
What made me get into Rainbow Six? It was an FPS game that had just come out. Well, it hadn't come out, it was in beta. But I liked playing FPS games, and I saw the game, and I was like, I'm gonna play that.
An FPS-obsessed 18-year-old, Kix hadn't just spent virtually every second of his adolescence immersing himself in shooters. He obsessed over them.
I think I started playing FPS games when I was like 9 or 10 years old. You really need to invest time and keep going at it to actually become good at.
I started playing FPS games when I was around the same age as him, 9 or 10, and it was the Call of Duty games. However, because of the amount of violence and things like that, sometimes my parents didn't like me playing those kind of games, so That's how it was. But I did play it a lot, and but the thing is, I'm nowhere near this good. Not even now, I'm nowhere near this good. So he put a lot of time into it, clearly, and he's clearly got talent too.
Video games.
Unfortunately, Kix was the product of a truly tumultuous childhood. For him, gaming was less of a pastime and more of an escape.
My mom met some douchebag, some prick. This guy was an asshole. Oh my god, he was an asshole. He was verbally abusive towards me, my sister, and my mom, and he made our lives hell. But he introduced me to PC gaming. He showed me what PC gaming was.
So too was content creation. From Fear to Project Blackout to CSGO to the free-to-play Funhouse where he invested the vast majority of his efforts, Warface, Kix was your classic cracked YouTuber who would stop at nothing to make a name for himself.
So I got kind of pushed out of my house.
So what I noticed is every time he goes for the kill, he goes to prone, which is really good, because I'm like, when you're on your second chance and you're like shooting, you're basically shooting up, because aiming down will be a little bit difficult because you're already like in that position. So that's a really good strategy.
By things
he knows what
that
he's
happened,
doing.
and right now I'm
that's
crashing
Korean
on someone's couch, just chilling. I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded, and I tried to put out 2 videos today, 2 mixed videos, just as a sorry, apology for not uploading for a whole month. I hope you guys enjoy them.
But it wasn't until the end of 2015, when Ubisoft's messy yet revolutionary Tom Clancy-themed tac shooter entered beta, that you could truly say Kix found his calling.
Any pro player will tell you the same story. Really, with this sort of thing, it's like you kind of just pick up on the intrinsic value of Siege when you first play it.
Okay, so when beta came out in 2015 and he was 18, so he's a year older than me. So about a year older than me. Wow. He really died young.
You just kind of feel that this is that game. And I just had that same kind of thing as everybody else.
You were nasty at the start of the game, I remember, because I remember watching and I remember playing against you, and like it was noticeable because most people couldn't shoot and you could actually shoot.
Behind. Damn. 1v5 and he just lived.
Over the course of 2016, KiXSTAr began to cement himself as one of the nuttiest, most foundational fraggers in North America.
I think he was one of the first people to have like actually really good mechanical skills in the game. Like, for me and a lot of other people in this game, it's, you can have
King George
and stuff like that, but you can get by a lot on like just using your brain, using strategy, using the gadgets in the game. But Kix had like the whole package. Like, he was really smart. He had awesome like usage of gadgets and stuff like that, and just he was the first one to really have like great movement and great mechanical skills out of anyone that I personally saw.
For a community that was just coming into its own, Kix wasn't just a figurehead. He was a trailblazer, a teacher, someone from whom players new and experienced alike could learn the ins and outs of Siege.
A lot of the things that people
interesting
now do today, right? Like getting Valkyrie cameras in like prime positions and running out with them. I mean, a lot of that was like Kix, and other people did do it too, but that was like a lot of the early strats of like that were like pioneer in the game, like the aggressive Ash plays. Like a lot of that was him. Like he really was like one of the first people doing like that.
Kix was at the very beginning of the game.
Intero.
Probably top 5 most well-known, most popular, most watched people at that exact moment. There was no Bolo. King George wasn't King George at the time. If you were in North America, you watched Kix. That's it. You watched Kix. You wanted Kix to succeed.
By March, he'd made his way onto Orbit and was competing in the inaugural season of ESL Pro League, where his roster secured the first overall seed in North America and a top 4 finish internationally. and by season 2, they managed to claw their way all the way to the finals. Unfortunately, after falling short in that final and watching as his roster sort of fell apart, Kix found himself in a bit of a tough spot. Despite flirting with retirement, Kix played out half a season with Orbit's spin-off, Orgless, before calling it quits for real. And then he was presented with a new opportunity, one that changed everything.
I retired in the middle of the 3rd season, not being comfortable on the team that I was playing with at the time. And one of my good friends, Panky, he jumped on one of my streams, and in the chat he's just like, hey, you want to commentate? And I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Now I just want to see what happens on Hereford, because Hereford could be anyone's map. Between these two teams, like you said.
Oh, so that's what pushed him to become a commentator. Basically, he was on a really bad streak and going down, but he found a way to go back up, but just not in the same way that he expected. Maybe he thought he could secure a few more wins, but I guess that didn't really happen. So he went to commentating, and I'm pretty sure he did really well. I mean, clearly he's loved, he's praised a lot. So I mean, it's pretty clear that he did a great job.
You said we haven't seen a whole lot of Hereford. I have no idea. Yeah. Like this is who knows? Maybe Flipside can bring it back, bring it to a tied game. That'd be pretty awesome.
He lended legitimacy to Rainbow Six because this is the first professional player that gets to talk about it, and having somebody to come in and explain to you, here's why this action is happening and a pro team is acting in a certain way, made a lot of things click in people's heads, because they're like, oh, now I understand what it's about. This is when everybody was screaming.
Obviously here we're looking at a construction open. Now that makes me think that what's going to happen next is he's going to go ahead and open the stock drop, because there's not a whole lot of reason to open the moto drop and the construction drop, although I've seen some teams do it. I'm curious to see how they handle this attack, honestly.
I could always go back and like rewatch our Pro League games and stuff, and I was like, okay, I agree with every single thing that Kix is saying. He actually understands what's going on. He's able to break down the plays that we have. You know, he understands like the strategy behind what we're doing, what the enemy team is doing, mistakes that are made, mistakes that are not made. Like he was really the first person to really be able to do that as a caster.
By 2017, he'd been recruited to cast Siege's first ever Ubisoft-hosted World Championship, the Invitational.
Let's welcome the rest of the cast, the team. We have Panky and KiXSTAr.
Thanks, Matt. Hey.
How's it going? It's good.
As soon as SI came to a close, Kix went all in on casting. He relocated to Poland so as to cast Pro League from the comfort of the ESL studio, and threw himself mind and body into his craft.
I was waking up at midnight to go in at 1 a.m. to cast the North American Pro League until 6 a.m. I cast the North American Pro League in the beginning of the week and the European Pro League in the end of the week.
Unfortunately, this meant that he wasn't always the easiest to work with. Kix was a very young caster who, in addition to being away from home and somewhat antisocial by nature, had a pretty hard life. It wasn't always easy to get the best out of him.
He was hard to work with. I mean, nobody's gonna deny that. Not the greatest reputation here in Poland when he moved to Katowice to work in the studio. Yeah, he wasn't super social. He had a hard time making friends, and you could tell the atmosphere in the studio that he didn't feel super great there.
He's reserved, just kind of keeps to himself, and he will randomly go off and do his own thing. You're like walking around having a chat, and he sees something off in the distance, and he just walks on out to it, and checks it out, or just starts dancing in the streets, singing songs.
In a way, I'm kind of the same thing. I'm not saying I'm really antisocial, but there are moments where I just keep to myself because I just like to spend time with myself and just do my thing, like YouTubing or going to the gym here and there. So I do understand that up to an extent, but I get it. He was young and he could have had a lot to learn and a lot more to experience, but he just went away way too quickly. So I get it. But I guess because of his experience and knowledge of the game is what pretty much just kept him there. But also on top of that, his work schedule was crazy. Waking up at midnight and then doing the commentating at 1 because of North America and the time zone and everything. So I do understand that sometimes maybe you'll have days where you're so stressed or tired that sometimes you'll just like lose your cool. So I do understand that, but looks like just in general, he was just a really difficult person to work with or get along with.
Something nice, and this was Michael. You know, he's all over the place. There's so much happening at the same time in his head.
He had this very, very hard shell. Once you manage to break through this shell and see his true self, he was a completely different person. Lovely, you know, full of energy, caring person. But also that had to, you know, he had to evolve over the years.
It was also around this time that Kick started to transition away from YouTube and towards Twitch.
I didn't stream back then. Like no one really did. It was honestly like pretty much probably like Kix and Serenity at the time. There was no one else streaming really. So he was really the first one to be like, hey, like there are cool things you could do in this, and I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna share it with the world and you know help this game grow and help.
So he's kind of like a pioneer with Twitch too.
With everything you could do in this game.
With his content creation skyrocketing almost as quickly as his casting career, little did Kix know, by the end of that year, he'd have made the most fateful acquaintance of all.
I ended up reaching out to him, and we just started talking. It kind of piqued his interest because he heard that I was a caster, and I got along fairly well right off the hop. And he said, "Can you send me some clips of you casting?" So I was like, okay, sure, I can do that. I didn't know that it was at the time to potentially replace his caster that he was working with, but that's what it ended up being for. I just thought he was curious. And he ended up watching it, and he said to me after a couple days of talking back and forth, I'm gonna be totally blunt with you. I want somebody new to cast with, and I think you're pretty good. Would you move to Poland to do it? And that's kind of where it all began.
Hello and welcome to Playday number 2 of the North American Pro League. My name is KiXSTAr, and I am joined by a new addition to our roster in Terrobang. How is it going in Terrobang?
Dang,
How are
that's
you feeling
crazy.
About your first day of Pro League casting?
I'll be honest and just say, get out of the way. It is a little nerve-wracking, but I am extremely humbled and very appreciative to be given this opportunity.
To say that Kix and Intero had chemistry would be an understatement. It wasn't chemistry. It was magic.
And he'll obscure that mirror. He gets a kill
on
the Necron.
Wow.
But MBK
They got
get
along.
Wookie first. Bootsy gets softened up, and it's really just Shate who's fighting at full force here. They spray into the smoke. Canadian and him spy one another as down goes Canadian. He shoots at the corpse as Bootsy eliminates him, and now Shate runs in. He's going to go for the flank onto the Mira, but as NBK picks up yet another kill, it's just Shate. The Capital peeks around the corner. He outduels BC, but it's still a 1v2. And they have control of the hatch above. This is going to be difficult. The attackers do have the hatch, or do have the plan. It will go down. NBK patrolling above. Diffuser should go down quite easily, but now Shate, NBK drop. That's one, a huge round from Shate. He could clutch this out. It's just Young left. Will we be able to see it? Shate! What a round from him, and Eds steals it away from EG.
One of the greatest clutches I have seen, especially at this finals. Shate, we talked about he needs to step it up for them to win this match, and he certainly did.
Kix pretty much has as much knowledge as you could possibly have on the game, right? Of all the operators, gadgets, pro play, takes, strategy, usage, like anything you could pretty much name off the top of your head. Kix has that, and Intero can just talk and talk and talk and talk. And he's good at it. He is. Okay, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He's good at it.
Yeah, I mean,
so that combination
they really know what they're talking about.
Being able to talk forever and that having someone to actually like give you things to talk about and get and back up like the knowledge on what you're talking about. That's a great combo right there.
You can see Psycho, he's got that top west side control, and he's going to continue to try and clear out these roamers, but it's just continuing to stall. Cantor Raketti, the first kill of this series, the second kill of this series, the third kill of this series, takes out Julio and PZD before he gets a refrag from Kamikaze. What an amazing roam from Cantor Raketti.
He's taken almost all of Wag's health down as well. He's going to get pushed by Kamikaze. Is he going to be able to get him? That's a 4th kill for Kanto. There's only one left standing in the way between the entire team. He doesn't have very much health left, but neither does Wag. And Ents coming off strong, or rather, Kanto coming off strong. You'll see now, though, Wag will move, and he'll get as far away from the Ella of Canto Raketti as he can.
No ace for you.
And he will fall inside of Garage.
But Kix and Intero were more than just a casting duo. They were comrades, kindred spirits, dear, dear friends. brothers.
Everybody that he'd casted with up until that point, he was never friends with, right? It was more like a work relationship. They were colleagues, and some of them he just outright didn't particularly like for a variety of reasons.
I feel could be that next Cinderella story.
Yeah,
where Excellence was a Cinderella story last season. This season, Infamy has that potential.
Yeah.
I thought he was a total oddball, but he was entertaining. I thought he was exceptionally smart, and we got along quite well, and we had a lot of mutual interests. And I think when we first started talking, before we even knew we were going to cast together, I think he was just drawn to having a friend. I think he was in Poland, he was isolated, he was lonely, and I think he saw in somebody, hey, this guy's relatively normal, and I can get along with him, and I think that went a long way.
I went to Vancouver, but I was like...
Oh, okay, so that does make sense. I mean, if I relocated to a different country and I didn't know anyone there, besides, just work people, then yeah, that would be a little bit scary, and I would feel isolated too. Because one, we all need to have like that someone that would always have our backs and support us. And two, I mean, KiXSTAr did say that I believe he said he has a mom, a sister, but when he was talking about the story with the abusive guy that his mother was dating, so he's away from family. So that pretty much leaves him with very little options. So it's really good to see that he found someone who matches his energy and he got along with as well. So that way it makes work and social life a lot easier. So that's good to see.
5.
So that was like 2 years ago.
This is what I live with.
This is what we live with.
Fair enough.
And after years of commitment to competition, Kix made commentary his focus at the end of 2018, right as the game was really starting to explode.
I don't think Kix ever really viewed himself as a caster until our casting scene started to grow around mid to late 2018. Up until that point, casting in Rainbow Six was, you didn't really get a lot of publicity. Rainbow Six wasn't really the talk of the town. It was an esport that kind of lay in obscurity. The players were the real stars, not the casters. And he had an opportunity to leave in 2018 that was presented to him to go join an up-and-coming org and maybe get back into the playing component. Probably not, but at least be back in the action as a coach or a general manager, strategist, analyst, whatever role they had for him. And I think he was drawn to that because he, up until that point, he saw himself as still a pro player who had been kind of down on his luck. He had some bad luck with teams. He got booted off. He left teams because he didn't like them. And he always wanted to go back because he wanted to be the best. And as the casting realm evolved and things started to get more serious and competition amongst casters started heating up, I think he realized, hey, I can actually move my energy towards this because there's far greater challenges in front of me as a commentator than there are as a player.
Narrow shot on a Nesk, but Nesk won't miss his, and on full HP, he's gonna have full control of Projector, and because of that, able to take down Julio. Psycho whips out the SMG pistol, but the nade from Sexy will shut him down. Kamikaze, the last defender, but he can't make it happen. What a round from Nesk, and what a round from Liquid to take it.
Michael, when is your
It's like he's rapping.
album dropping?
Yeah.
I don't... What are you talking about?
You went full rap god on that one?
This dude could...
That's literally what I just said. It's like, damn, dude, it sounds like he's just rapping and all that. But yeah.
Seamlessly jump from expert analyst to surgical shoutcaster at the drop of a hat.
Benitez is getting shot from behind. C4 comes out, but it's too late. 9XT, 2 kills in this round, and he's being a big factor for his team. Dark Zero down to Hot and Cold, who's managed to light up the Lion and Mav. Only one full HP attacker left, but it's the same story for Hot and Cold. And there goes Cameraman. It's one shot for 9XT, one shot for Mav, and Hot and Cold will win this out. Only 26 bullets left in that Alda, but that's plenty. And he knows this low HP. He can use his Evil Eyes to win this. There's still 40 seconds left, so this is not a rush situation for FaZe. They will pick up Cameraman.
The build up to Houghton is perfect because the actual casting of the clutch is good. It's great. But what I actually think is better is how he sets it up. When Houghton is on the main stairs and he has to rotate through tellers and archives into the small office, he paints the scene beautifully. He sets expectations, he states win conditions, while talking about player positioning, denoting the time, giving a sense of urgency, giving how dire the situation is for both teams and
you can hear in the tone of his voice, like how it's changing.
Pivots to play-by-play effortlessly and gives it the energy it deserves. He is his own color and play-by-play for the final 30 seconds.
So we're back to a 1-on-3. The tension is huge. Will Evil Eye going to be a massive factor here for Hot and Cold if he can play this correctly? He cannot vault this, so he'll prep it, but that'll give away his rotation and his intentions. It doesn't seem that 9XT has noticed this, though. It doesn't seem like there's a camera, and there's a nice kill for Hot and Cold.
And he passes off to himself in just like stunning fashion. He doesn't miss anything. There's nothing missed. I don't know how you put that. You go to a lab and create the best casting possible for that scenario, and I don't know how the result that we have now is improved upon.
He only needs 2 more, and they're both still very low. He can deny the plant with the Evil Eye and just keep himself alive. 19 bullets, so he's got to be careful with that ammunition counter, and here's the denial! Oh my God! 5 seconds, and cameraman has to rush! Will he land the shot?
Oh!
Incredible!
But it wasn't just Kix and Antero's elegant interplay that fans adored.
I just want to say that gameplay right there was amazing. Like how he transitioned and used all the resources, and just that like quick moment he turned to the left and shot that guy, dude. Amazing work. And I also like how KiXSTAr like delivered those words. It's just like, okay, like, building the tension here and there, and actually happening. Then he just explodes as well and raises his voice. That was great.
It was their hilarity.
I saw him deploy after he.
Don't make that signal with your hand. Don't.
I saw him deploy.
Don't do that gesture ever again.
He did the shield thing. Stop. Why? What is wrong with your brain?
You could tell that they had this amazing chemistry. They just know exactly what the other person wants to say. They knew their sense of humor, and you could tell on camera that they are friends.
By the time 2020 rolled around, Siege was undergoing a much-deserved blow-up. And with excitement around the game reaching a fever pitch, Kix and Antero cemented themselves as one of esports' most...
crap, my bad. 2020 would make sense, because 2020 is like when most games really blew up because of COVID, because there's nothing to do. You have to stay home. So maybe that was a good time to even do YouTubing, because I've seen some people start YouTubing in like their channels in 2020, and they blew up much faster because a lot more people are on their computers because they can't go outside and do the things they want to do. So that would explain some of these things and like why the game blew up. But as mentioned, KiXSTAr is one of the main contributing factors to why this game got to where it is right now.
In demand duos.
Psycho's gonna have to clutch up hard. He gets the second deny. Only 20 seconds left for that plant.
Oh, that was close.
Stick from Rafael, so a 1-on-1 effectively here. Psycho wins it! And now another 1-on-1 as Rafael's in the post plant. There it is, though! Psycho! 4K! And Ninjas in Pajamas! The 7-4! Taking the map and the series! Europe's gone! Let him forward!
Unfortunately, the toll that COVID took on Siege
Oh.
was significant. With everything moving online, Kix was afforded the chance to relocate back home and spend some much needed quality time, not just with his family, but with himself.
Dude, he doesn't even cut his hair at all. That thing is getting longer and longer and longer. I can't imagine having long hair like that.
And then he started caring about his appearance, and he started getting tailored suits, and he started, getting imported jackets, and he started looking at watches, and he started wearing rings, and all of a sudden he's caring about his appearance. He's caring about things outside of gaming, and his whole world opened up to him.
Over the next year and a half, Kix grew as both a caster and creator, expanding his horizons like never before. Nothing excited Kix like world-class Siege, and nothing tilted him like subpar Siege. His praise was coveted, and his criticisms carried weight.
He's like the Hasanabi of Rainbow Six. He's always getting away with it.
The plant going down. Bio has to cover. And he's gonna do a great job of it, but no! Jarvis drops from CEO! Bio still has time to win the fights, but why are you sprinting, Bio?
He actually understood the game. He understood the strategy at a fundamental level, and he understood that people are making mistakes. So yeah, he has the license to say it, I guess, but it's for good reason. It's not just he's just saying it to say it, just to criticize because he doesn't like someone or something. It's just true.
First, right f***ing there. Right there. That's where he f***ed up. You see it? He got downed. You see that? He f***ed up first. problem with Stand, since it's only on this operator, is that it gave him another opportunity. It gave him a buffer of like, you can f up one time, but these guys can't f up one time. You can, not them.
And he had that credibility.
So he broke it down.
Player that he could call out teams and he could call out bad plays where none of the other casters could do that. And that brought this weight to the broadcast, this legitimacy to the broadcast because he was a former pro.
The Siege community revered and respected KiXSTAr like no other. He'd stood side by side with the game on every step of its journey, and had played a pivotal role in helping it to blossom into a globally successful esport. It's not an overstatement to say that without Kix, Siege would not be what it is today.
What he did for the scene was insane. He is one of he pretty much single-handedly saved Siege, retiring from a pro to be a caster because the casters we had weren't that great at the time, trying to fix it from the inside out. He sacrificed a lot of his own dreams so that he could, I guess, build a better future for the game that he fell in love with.
Kix was finally
really
reaping in the benefits of his years of hard work and sacrifice. He'd helped Siege become the esport it promised to be, all while inspiring countless players, content creators, and casters alike. But in the fall of 2021, as he signed off his stream to go for a customary late-night drive, he did so, not knowing it would be for the last time.
Oh,
Thank you for watching, everybody. It was a pretty stream today, but I mean, I had fun anyway. So thank you for making it fun, and
sure, you're right.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, so that's how he died.
I woke up the morning that I found out to a DM on Instagram from somebody who wasn't following me. All it said was, "Hey Parker, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your friend Michael died. I was the first person at the scene. I was the first person to call the cops. I'm here if you need to talk to me. Really, really sorry." And I was just like, yeah, sure, just send me proof along, thinking like, okay, this is where the joke falls apart. And over the course of the next hour or so, this guy started sending proof that was impossible to verify without this being A, a complete misunderstanding, or B, it was true.
The police had called and left a message at 5:30, but because it came in as an unknown caller, I didn't see it. Really, I didn't pay attention. And I didn't find out till Tuesday morning, probably at 11 in the morning, when somebody was at the door. The dog was barking uncontrollably. I opened it up and there's two officers, and it's like, oh, he crashed. I know he crashed. We knew he hadn't come home that night. And then I looked at the officer's badge and saw one of them said coroner. And that was the
It's weird knowing before the parents knew because I knew before they did. And when they're like, "Hey, so you're probably wondering why we want you to call us," and I was like, "Nope. I know why." It's an awful feeling that nobody should have to go through.
On October 11th, 2021,
That's
Michael
horrible.
KiXSTAr Stockley passed away in a tragic and unexpected car accident. To say that his friends, family, the Siege community, and esports at large were inconsolable would be an understatement.
Kix, we lost obviously a community member, like a pro league caster. Like the void will never be filled for pro league for casting ever. Like it doesn't matter who's there, it'll never be the same. It won't. And obviously, we lost someone who was, a great ambassador for the game and just a great all around guy and a good friend too.
Siege loses a family member, a friend, an advocate, a pillar, a foundational pillar. It's really hard to put in.
But here's my curiosity, guys, as to the car accident. If you guys happen to know, please put down in the comments below. What caused this car accident? One, did someone crash into him? Or two, was he not paying attention and he crashed into something at a high speed? Or three, yeah, he was speeding. Or four, drunk driving. Or five, car, a car broke down and, or maybe he lost control of the car. Like, what caused this car accident? Because I'm really curious to hear that, because when people say he died in a car crash, I mean, not he, like when people die in a car crash, there's multiple like factors and variables that can go into it. Like, one, was it just by themselves? Or two, was there another person involved? Three, did someone hit them? Things like that. So please put it down in the comments below. What caused this, and what caused this death?
Into words exactly what we lost when Kix passed away, but yeah, we lost someone really special.
KiXSTAr was, in no uncertain terms, a part of the very soul of Siege. One of the game's most iconic, indispensable, and irreplaceable figures.
I mean, I don't know what Rainbow Six esports looks like right now without Kix. I don't. Not even from like a casting perspective, but his
Kix was literally the foundation.
Of, R6TMs, which then was kind of like a precursor to FPL, and how that brought like thousands to tens of thousands of people to a competitive level that people had never seen before. Strictly speaking, that alone was huge.
Whether you were a seasoned vet or an aspiring up-and-comer, a nod of approval from KiXSTAr meant everything.
In year one, season one, we placed 8th place, the literal last place in North America. And then obviously, I joined CTM and won the 6th Invitational. He's like, I gotta tell you, he's like, good job. He's like, from 8th place to 1st in the world. He's like, congrats. So it was like, it was definitely like a really good memory. And it was definitely like a moment too, because I still remember back then as well. It was just like, everyone thought we were like terrible. And it's like, you go from being like the literal last place to going to first place, and having like Kix, like, I guess, like, validate that for you too, like on top of it, like
like his approval.
Like, it's like okay, now it's official.
It was kind of like the final word, like he said. What he said is basically gospel.
Kix's streams were like group therapy sessions. I would sit in them and I would listen to them, and I would, he'd sit back waiting for a cue and spend 20 minutes, ruminating about his life and talking about things that had gone wrong and things that he wished he'd been able to do in the future and what he wanted to accomplish. And then, the countless clips that were shared after his passing about how frank and honest he was about mental health and suicide and depression.
I'm not more depressed than anybody else, okay? Like when I was seriously going through depression, it wasn't. Other people are experiencing the same shit daily. It's an ongoing struggle for tons and tons of people, and there's no reason for me to.
I got you. Everything's going to be okay.
Stay in that headspace. Why the would I?
So happy to.
Okay, so he shares
to have heard that
his experiences and everything.
In his last days, his whole response was, "I'm just feeling good. I'm happy," because that wasn't Michael when he first came to Poland. He wasn't happy. He didn't know who he was. There were months that felt, is he just gonna up and quit? He pulled out of it. That takes a lot of strength and energy. Very, very proud to have been part of that.
It goes without saying that a fixture such as Kix can never be replaced. The man was a legend, a titan, a foundational father, a constant, never-ending force of comfort and assurance in an esport that needed it.
I feel like a lot of people in gaming, suffer with their own personal struggles, and I know Kix was one of those people that just was able to make you smile. A lot of people turned to him for help and support, and just honestly, just to I guess get away from their own things. They would just pay attention and watch him, and it would just make things like a lot better.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I love you, bro. I watch you all the time. I'm sorry, I'm fanboying. I watch you all the time through high school, bro.
Oh damn.
The world of esports will never be the same without KiXSTAr.
I have been receiving some comments like that, and it is unbelievable. Some of you guys say like, man, dude, I had a long day at work, and to end the day with one of your videos. And when I read those kind of comments you guys put down for me, it is unbelievable, because as someone that is still that has like a small audience and community compared to like other people who have like 20,000 subscribers, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, to have someone like me can give that kind of like impact on you, saying like, hey man, I worked a long shift, but your video makes me puts a smile on me, and I'm thinking, wow. I mean, I didn't think that my content would have like that level of impact. So that's really great to hear and really great to see. So thank you so much for that, guys. Like I said, you guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going and why it continues to grow. This channel is for you.
There's no replacing someone like that. Someone who gave everything they had to make the game they loved, the game in which they found themselves, a better place. But thankfully, there's also no forgetting them.
People say that we'll no longer have Michael, and yeah, we will no longer have anything new from him. But we have thousands and thousands of hours of him talking to the camera, on broadcasts, on social media. But whenever you feel like you miss him, just go watch those videos. There's nothing else you need, and you will feel like he's here.
Yes, the flame burned out, but holy shit, did it shine bright while it was, lit up. Definitely.
And I'm just really glad that I could have been a part of his life, and I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, he is a year older than me. Wow. Yeah, rest in peace, KiXSTAr. So overall, this guy was pretty much the pioneer of a game when it started. Sure, it had great trailers and great gameplay videos here and there, but I guess it was one of those games that like really didn't catch the attention of like most people, or they don't know what it really was. But this guy really showed saying this game could be like this. It could be a lot of fun if you actually put some time and thought into this. And on top of that, sounds like he was one of the pioneers of Twitch streaming as well, because as his buddy said, Intero, sorry, I'm really bad with names, said nobody was really streaming or doing anything. So that was like pretty much an open market for him to build up such a big audience. And that is really great. And to see him have such great influence upon people, to give great commentary on a game. And on top of that, people say like his streams, as they said, is kind of like therapy. I've been watching you and just like listening to him speak of his experiences and just sharing his life experiences and just reminding everyone that, hey, I'm just like you guys. I'm just another person as well. The only difference is I'm on camera. But it's great to see that. And unfortunately, like many people, he got into an accident, and that's the end of it. I mean, who knows when our last moments are here. So just please be safe out there, guys. Drive safely, and also just please take care of yourselves, look after one another, and that's how we can ensure that we can continue moving forward. But anyways, great video. Thank you for the recommendation. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, and viewers. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going. So again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate everything you guys are doing for me. And hope you guys are enjoying everything I'm doing for you too. Because right now, I think I'm busting out like 2 to 3 videos a day. So, I mean, and with my training schedule, it's really taking a toll, but not in a bad way. I mean, sure, there are days where I'm so tired and fatigued, but however, which is watching videos and creating content for you is actually more relaxing than you think. So thank you so much for that, guys. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.